found you a little gift for me, sitting here next to this notebook. I can't say that I wasn't surprised you really got me. That being said, I don't think you can bribe me with a bottle of Coke, mister. I won't go spilling my guts for even a gallon of this stuff, but it was still nice of you. I gotta say, I didn't expect you to be so young, Doc. I mean, I had a pretty clean-cut picture in my head. I figured you have a mustache, a shiny chrome dome. But you can't be, but what, 6 years older than me? I'd be lying if I said that it wasn't a nice surprise. Usually, you college types have a few more years under your belt. Guess I should be honored to be so early in your career. Listen, I like you, bud, but at least you seem alright from the other night. After all, how bad can a fellow Cardinals fan be? Us St. Louis boys gotta stick together. By the way, no, I don't think we'll hit the series this year, but I have hopes for next season. But you just don't seem to understand. I wish I could help you get it, but you seem awfully pig-headed. Takes one to know one, huh? I don't have but a week before my option to leave this place is up for review. I like you, Doc, but I'm going to wait it out until I can pack my bags and catch a bus. Maybe a lighter subject to end with here, huh? You'll be happy to hear that after my admittedly childish tactics, I've gotten that nurse's attention after all. Nearly costing me an arm and a leg. Believe me, I might have badgered her a bit too much. I almost got a stiff slap to the jaw, but I couldn't really tell she wasn't too put off. I got a peep out of her, and it was like music, Doc. She told me to shut up. A bit anticlimactic, but boy did I live to hear those words. On her way out, pushing that cart down the hall, I saw her turn back and give me a smile. It might be just a smile, but I think my heart did a backflip. I caught her tag this time around. Her name is like flowers after rain. Cherry. What a perfect name. Somehow I just think it fits her so well. I guess it's in poor taste to go and ask out one of the people caring for me, but if you keep your lip buttoned, I think I'd like to take her out for coffee sometime. It's gotta be better than the stuff the nurses brew in the cafeteria. That stuff will melt your stomach like battery acid in a shopping bag. Yes, sir, that Coke was like heaven in a bottle after drinking nothing but tap water and bad coffee all week. Thanks again. See you tomorrow, Doc. Night. Concerns and suggestions. Mr. Harley is a nice boy. His manners are there, but it doesn't take long for the bedside manner to set in. His aunt was sure to give me a list of subjects she knew Oren was interested in, and it proved to be of great use. Conversation began light, but by the end of our time together, there was a comrative sense to the room. However, I failed to make headway in this therapy beyond baseball and casual talk. I've spoken to the nurse, and that he refers to, Miss Sherry Duvet. She seems reluctant to talk about Mr. Harley, and I suppose that her involvement with the patient would be frowned upon by management. I think I've eased her away from that notion, or that I at least have no intention to penalize her. After some coaxing, she admitted that she thought he was, and I quote, cute. I may use her ties to him after a bit more time. Try to ease him into rehabilitation. After all, it's no good treating the symptoms of I cannot treat the source. He's welcome for the Coke, and as I'll be sure to tell him before we start the next session, his dose is to remain stable for the next 48 hours and then to be decreased for the foreseeable week. I will speak to the resident pharmacist, Dr. Wilfred Bellenchamp. 8/1885. Play chess, Doc? You give me the impression of someone who would. You know, I used to read those Sherlock stories when I was in school. He liked chess, and he played it a few times in the books. I figure that I've got time, more than enough to spare. Why not learn? If you play, I'd take a few lessons. Maybe we could have it after a therapy thing you like so much. What do you think? Oh, someone's coming. Sounds like Wheels by the Echo. I wonder who could it be? I've already got my medicine, so don't suppose you guys are giving me a little extra for good behavior? Just knocking on my door. Bye, Doc. So you do play, don't you? I can tell by that feverish intent to get at my gray matter. It's hell or high water for you, isn't it? You take those delicate little college fingers and slide your pieces around the board like pawns and rooks and whatever else. Well, I may not know the rules too well, Doc, but that doesn't mean I can't recognize when I'm being played. When did you talk to her? Yesterday, after my journal? Guess I should have known better than to lay my cards out where you could see them. I really should have gotten a hint when she came by last night. I hope you paid for the takeout. I'm sure this place doesn't pay enough to let nurses bring their patients fresh dinner, coffee, and a burger with fries. See, I thought I might have just charmed her so well that she gave in to my devilish good looks. I know you asked her to do it. I'm trying to keep myself from getting angry, but it's hard when the fill meter on my IV keeps shrinking and my brain is screaming for more mix to get my fix. Play well, Doc. Really well. I'm sure you'll be happy to hear that I did fall for it. Hook, line, and sinker. I guess I was too focused on her voice and how smoky and warm the coffee was. She's in school. Did you know that? Shooting for her doctorate. She's having trouble studying the graveyard shifts, but she's skating pretty well. I think we must have been an hour in before she came clean and told me that you put her there. She also said that she'd been happy to take the chance, so I guess I can't let the blame rest solely on you, huh, Doc? My first reaction to all of it was to be pissed off, to run her out of the room, to get pity party started when she left, but she caught me off long before I can get a foot in. Quite the lady here. She told me that she liked me, even if it was just a little for now, and then said that she can make her visits pretty regular if I wanted to, as long as I dropped the tough guy act and spilled the beans in therapy. I wonder who could have asked her to do something like that. He denies it, but I'm not sure if he had anything to do with her incidents. Those damn eyes, they really got me. You used her to get me. That's a rub here, Doc. Before I go on saying anything, I want you to know that that's a strike against you in my book. No matter who you might be cheering for at a ball game, you still did a real sneaky, shitty thing. Yeah, I still got a date with the prettiest lady I've ever set eyes on. But it only happened because you're too thick-skulled to take a hint. That being wrapped up in a nice little bow, I tell you what, I want help. I don't want to be the way I am anymore. It's just digging into Nizoni's pockets and wearing my body a bit too thin. I can't keep up with things well enough to even hold a job, and that's why I'm here. You say you will stomp the problems out? So I'll give you a shot. Come on and strap in, Doc, but don't you dare question me or what I say past this point. There's no rolling of the eyes, no queer faces, no listen and wad through the waters. I know what I'm just going to say is true. I don't need corroboration, least of all patronizing kind. Keep your thoughts just where they are, and I'll do my best, got it? Yeah, I bet you do, Doc. For all the trouble you're going through, you don't seem to realize what you're digging up. I want you to know that it's going to hurt me to write this out, so count your damn blessings. You gotta hide behind the locked doors, Doc. I hope you get as much sleep as I do tonight. Concerns and suggestions. I do not deny my request of Miss DeVay. To the untrained eye, this may look to be a very unprofessional act. However, Mr. Harley at any rate seems to be agreed that my method did, for all intents and purposes, succeed. It's been 40 hours to this date, and I have seen Mr. Harley for a scheduled session. Nurse DeVay has passed 2 pieces of scratch paper to me, both written by Mr. Harley to excuse himself. He said he is writing out his memories rather than offering it verbally. He says that this avenue would be far too strenuous to attempt. Progress is slow, but promising. Doses are still to remain at current levels until the 1st of November. Observation leads me to believe that he needs to ease into a sudden change. Dr. Wilford Bellenchamp. 8/24/85. Notice to the WRC manager requested entry into room 473 at behest of Dr. Wilford Bellenchamp and head physician Donald O'Darren. Patient in question has refused meals and appointments for over 72 hours. Further action is now required. Please act immediately to enforce the request. Thank you.